never experienced fire danger conditions like that in September, let alone the first week of September.
The extraordinary fires on the Gold Coast hinterland took weeks to bring under control.
The weather conditions that we experienced were off the scale.
With the last of the embers finally dying out, scientists are gaining their first glimpse of a rare event, a fire-ravaged rainforest.
So look at this rainforest tree here, it's been burnt. I could push it over easy enough. And the fire's got in at the base because the bark on these things is just so thin. Just look at that.
Most of the rainforest here is within the World Heritage listed Lamington National Park.
There's a few really fire-sensitive species here, like this Atractocarpus. Seems to have wilted pretty poorly. It doesn't look so nice when it's burnt.
And this is not the only Australian rainforest to go up in flames.
We've seen this west of Mackay in December last year. We're seeing World Heritage areas in Tasmania burning. It's all rainforest, and normally it just shouldn't burn like this.
Is this a view of the future under climate change models?
I think we're going to see more and more of this, definitely, yeah.
The blaze, which engulfed the Gold Coast hinterland, started amongst drier gum trees. It also destroyed the heritage-listed Binnaburra retreat and surrounding vegetation many thought to be safe from fire.
How is it that rainforests can burn?
Well, rainforests are very fire retardant. It has this shady canopy which suppresses all the ground fuel. It has a cool, moist microclimate. It breaks the wind. It has every trick in the book to suppress fire. But in extreme conditions, it can burn.
And these extreme events have firefighters deeply worried.
On maps, firefighters look for these wet areas and say that will pull the fire up. They're not pulling the fires up now. They're just raging through. And ecologically, this is a disaster because the trees just aren't adapted to intense fire.
I fear that quite a lot of rainforest has been lost during these fires.
As the blaze spread, former National Park Ranger Patrick Norman was monitoring satellite data from his office at Griffith University's School of Environment. His initial analysis showed more than 440 hectares of rainforest had been burnt. The more severe rainforest fires were in remnant patches on private land, but also included sections of Lamington National Park, home to more than 200 rare and threatened plant and animal species.
So there's a sign there that a lot of rainforest has been burnt, but you won't know for sure until you're on the ground.
That's it. The exact extent, anyway.
Weeks after the worst of the fires, the air is still smoky, but clear enough to survey the damage.
Along this right ridgeline.
So where did the fire start here?
It started up towards Canungra in the north, and then it's burnt down in a southerly direction, spun a little bit to the southeast, and then burnt into the park over to the right here.
Can rainforest cope with a little bit of burning from time to time?
Yeah, it can probably cope with a fire every 100 or 200 years. But the problem is when it burns, it becomes more flammable and the chance of getting reignited gets greater.
So what does this tell you?
Well, we're in the heart of the rainforest here with these buttress trees and hoop pines and land snails. The fire's trickled in from the edge, probably about 50 metres from the eucalypt forest here.
There is some good news, sign that life is returning to the scorched ground.
A lot of invertebrates seems to have moved back in, which I'm surprised about. I would have thought with the loss and the burnt of leaf litter that we would have lost a lot of the insects and fungi for a long period of time.
One thing we've seen today is that fire can trickle through rainforest and not seem to cause too much damage. It's really when it gets an intensity that it's going to cause some damage.
But the fire was intense enough in another part of the national park to down this rainforest giant.
Beautiful tree.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you wouldn't see that too often.
No.
Certainly situations here where the fire was roaring with the full force of a northwesterly gale, and when under those conditions it can really singe the rainforest and cause substantial damage.
Where the fire was less intense, the rainforest will recover, but parts of the national park remain vulnerable.
With any damage, you're always worried that there's going to be a push-in of weeds, particularly lantana. And for many of the areas we've seen today, lantana, the presence of lantana looks like it's actually impacted how flammable the area is.
Authorities say the recent disasters in New South Wales and Queensland make it clear rainforest fires are no longer a rarity.
We have probably seen these kind of events before, and the climate record tells us that. But the climate scientists tell us they're going to get more and more frequent.
We can expect them more often, fires like that far more often, and we can expect fires that we've never experienced before, and we won't know what to do with them.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.